You are about to watch the #1 motivational show in the world. Learn how to chase your dreams without giving up.
Quitting can't be an option. And being and saying, oh, it's cool, like, cause me and you both know, it's just like when you step on that runway, bro, and you going against the big dogs, like you can't just be cool with that last jump. Me and you both know, like, you might jump a world lead and dude might come back and jump it right back on you.
Yeah,
Like, so
literally.
it's like, and it happened that fast. So it's like, never get complacent. And that's one thing about this sport. It's just like, you can be at a track meet and the guy on the intercom and say, oh, you so and so just ran the world lead, and then at a different meet somewhere else in a different state, the guy gonna run it 2 minutes later. So it's like, never get complacent and never have quitting as an option.
Whatever that I say I am, I can achieve just what I want to. Do you believe? Do you believe? Yeah. Do you believe? Do you believe? Yeah, yeah.
Follow Dino as he chases his dreams around the world. We believe in you. It's time to believe in yourself.
Will London, let's go!
Yo, yo, what's poppin', Dino? You good, bro?
Just chilling. Yes, what's poppin' with you, yo? How are you doing?
Man, I can't complain, man. Training going good, living life, man. Everything is good.
So my introduction was like less than 1% of really who you are. So I want to make it up to you to where you tell us, like when you introduce yourself to people, who do you say you are? Of course, like I've seen the stats of how fast you ran in the 400, the 200, the 60. I've seen you run personally when I was at University of Kansas, but let us know who you are.
Man, I'm Will London the third, actually, from Waco, Texas, born and raised. Stayed out here for college, went here to Baylor University as well. I was able to continue going and run professionally. Gold in the World Championships in 2019 in the 4x4. Then we broke the record in the world record in the mixed relay 2017. Uh, Made my first U.S. team for the Open 400. Um, Came in, didn't make the final in the Open 4, made it to the semi, but we came in second in the 4x4 and was able to, do my thing my freshman year for the junior team. Came home with a silver in the Open 4, but then we won the 4x4 and then made the relay pool for the Tokyo Olympics in 2020. So, still doing my thing, still trying to climb that ladder and still just trying to get better.
All right, I'm going to pull up a photo on the screen. Can you see this photo?
Yeah, yeah, I can.
It's kind of blurry, but it's a photo of you committing to Baylor University. And
Yeah,
who are these two people next to you?
that's my mom and then my dad.
Okay. And at this moment, before you tell us what your times are now and even more of what you've accomplished, because I've seen even more, of course,
Um,
what are you thinking at this moment right here? Where do you think you're going to be in the track world at this moment and in your career?
I ain't gonna lie, I never really expected myself to take it this far. Like I always knew, like a lot of people always say how I knew I was gonna be here. Like, it was never like a doubt, but it was one of them where it's like you had these dreams and aspirations, but you like when you finally reach them, you like, dang, that's crazy. So it was like me like going into it, like I wasn't really like a big track head like most people are. Like that's in D1 sports and like in D1 track and field and stuff. Like I played other sports, so for me it was like I'm just a D1 athlete, but like I never knew like the basis and the actual thing that surrounds track and field. So for me, it was just like, man, I'm just going to Baylor to run track. And then I think it's like when I my freshman year, I was like, dang, it's crazy. Like, like I know
Yeah.
I could be some. I knew I was gonna take it to the next level my freshman year. That's really what it was. Like my freshman year, I knew. Like I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go crazy.
Now it's crazy, like it's different. I grew up in New Jersey, all right, and it's different
Yeah,
in New Jersey going to a state school than I'm guessing it is in Texas because in New Jersey the
yeah,
only really state school we have is Rutgers. And when I was growing up, shout out to my guy Corey Crawford, he got the jumps program popping now, but when I was growing up, we all know like if we went to Rutgers as far as committing, born in Jersey, it was like, okay, like you kind of settled or you didn't make it really to the top. Once you
yeah,
leave Jersey and go somewhere like Texas, Florida, California, Kansas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Arkansas, Oregon, that's where people say, okay, you've made it. But in Texas, how important is it for you to go to a school like Baylor? Is that some
yeah.
place that you grew up watching, or was it a different school that you really were thinking about going to?
Oh, for sure. Cause it's like being from Waco. It's like living in Waco, and then the Baylor side of Waco. It's like they're in the same. Like it's the like Baylor is in Waco, so it's like two totally different places. So it's like if you from Waco, like as a kid, you always dream of going to Baylor. Like we always went to all the football games, cause like at the time Baylor wasn't really good in football, so you can get like tickets like super cheap, or like they let people go in for free. So it's like we was the little kids that was like at the tunnel, like asking for their gloves and they like they towels and stuff from the football players, like the basketball players. You trying to get them to sign everything. So it was like growing up in Waco. That's how it was. And like for me, my top two sports was always like basketball and football. So it was like I wanted to go like for football or basketball. And then like running track and stuff like that. It was just kind of something I just did, just like my parents had me in, but like track was just always like it was always my thing. Like my mom and dad always said you're gonna be better in track. And me like playing football and stuff like, nah man, I wanna go for football, I wanna play in the NBA, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was like a lot of people like, it's like in Waco, it's like a lot of people don't really go to school. Like you see people that make it, but like they don't never really take it to the next level. Like you'll see some people sign and go to college and then they'll just come back and not really finish. But like if you go to Baylor, like you went crazy. Like you was like, oh man, he was cold. Like so it was like when I made that decision, and also my dad, he used to officiate track meets. So it's like I
Okay.
was able I was able like I would volunteer at track meets with my dad, and I was the one who I would rake the pits at the long jump and the triple jump. So I would rake the pits. I was a little kid. I had a volunteer shirt on. I rake the pits, and then I would pass out waters and Gatorades to like the officials and stuff like that. So like growing up, I was able to for like see front row like the athletes how they warmed up and how they like seeing all the pros and stuff. So it's like I got like shirts and hats and stuff signed by Jeremy Warner, Sonya Richards, and it's like growing up, it was crazy because it's like, dang, that's really me now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
man, so it's really live because it's like one of them things where you like actually living your dream, like it's a reality.
But when you're in high school, when I was in high school, like in eighth grade, I made the decision I was going D1 because I saw my brother going D1. He was a senior. I
Yeah.
was in eighth grade going to be a freshman in high school. When you're in high school, how confident are you that you're going D1?
What's crazy is I really wasn't that good in track and field when I was in high school. Like my times was not fast. Like I think my freshman year, I was running maybe like 56, 57, maybe that. Like it might have been a little faster. Don't quote me on it.
Yeah.
Like, but I know my times are online. And then like my sophomore year, I was still like in the 50s and stuff. But like I didn't really break 50 until going into my junior year. I did it in my state track meet and summer track. I ran like 8. And then at that point, I was like, "Ah, man, like we kind of doing something now, you know." Like for me,
Yeah.
that was crazy. And my senior year, like my junior year at state, and my junior year at state for high school, I ran I think 47, I think maybe like 47 too. And at that time, that was like a lot of people like it's not fast now, but like when we talking about 2014, 2013. That's fast.
Yeah.
So like like you saying high schoolers run like 45s now, but like at that time, like that was like top 10 in the state, top 10 in the nation at that time. Cause like I remember just specifically like around that time when I going into my senior year, like the top 400 runners was me, Michael Norman, Cortavian Poole, and Josephus Lyles, and Obi Abakwe. Like that was the top people. And then you throw Bryce in there, Bryce Demon in there, and I think my senior year I ended up running like 46 a couple times.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and and I still wasn't the top guy. But what happened was I ended up signing. I was already signed to Baylor at that moment, but like they had this meet of champions, and I ran 45.9. I ran 45.9 like my last high school meet and before summer track, and I think I was still like the number 3 guy in the nation at the time.
See, I need to know like where's your confidence at in high school? Like, is it
Yeah.
to where okay, when you're going to meets, are you nervous that like when you see someone taller than you that they're gonna beat you even though you don't know what time they run? Like, are you like nervous of other people or do you already know you're going to win or expect to win no matter who's around you?
Nah, I never was because I was that guy where they was like they knew who I was and they knew I was fast, so it was like they was looking at me like, dang, like, hey, that's that kid that that been getting all the letters or that's going to Baylor. So for me, like, I was the kid that they was looking at, like, so. But like a lot of people don't know, like, I was still nervous from the simple fact that I never would like look down on nobody who I was running against. Like, I would never be like, I know I'm faster than them, because I already knew like if I was faster, then your coach and y'all having a game plan for me. So the target is on my back. So I know I gotta go 10 times as hard. Like shout out to my boy Johnny. He went to dang I forgot what school he went to. I think it was a HBCU, but he ran no it was Southern Louisiana University SLU, and me and him ran against each other in high school. And Johnny wasn't no punk. Like he was gonna step up to the line every time. He went to Austin Manor, but every time I ran against him, like he was gonna give 100 every time, and I would always beat him. But I always knew like this guy, like he really right there. You know what I'm saying? So even when we was racing each other like past like high school, like it was one of them where I never would sleep on him because I knew he had it in him.
Did anyone hate on you? Because I'm looking at you right here, and like I'm
Yeah,
gonna ask you what this means. You throwing up 4 or 8, whichever one it is. But I'm gonna ask you
yeah,
about this. But at these moments, like I'm gonna let you know what I need everyone else to know. I was, as you see, one of the top jumpers in the NCAA at a moment. But
yeah,
I remember when the 4x4 and the 400 would come, we would see Baylor and we would know that you would be the person who would
yeah.
probably win. So it's like, did you have any haters like coming up in high school? Like, let me know what that was like. And did you need to cut people off or did you like,
Yeah.
what was that experience like?
I mean, all right, so for the picture, the reason I was throwing up the four because that was my senior year at conference, and they said that they said that was the first I was first person in Baylor history to win 4 consecutive Big 12 titles because I won it freshman, sophomore, and senior year. So that's why I was throwing up the
Wait. We
four.
gotta pause. We gotta pause. We
Yeah,
gotta pause. Okay. I'm gonna need you to say that again. I'm gonna need you to
so
say
I
that
won,
again.
yeah. So I was the first person in Baylor history to win a conference title 4 years in a row. So I won outdoor 400 all 4 years that I was at Baylor. So that's why I was throwing up the fours. That's why I was throwing it up.
I had to be here. I feel like I was here then. I was
Yeah,
definitely here
yeah,
during this meet,
yeah.
obviously.
It was at Oklahoma at conference. Yeah, so
Okay,
you was
yeah,
there. Yeah,
obviously. Yeah, I was
you
here.
was
I was
there.
probably watching,
It
honestly.
was probably indoors. Remember, it was cold. It was cold.
Yo,
So
okay.
yeah,
See, doing it 4 times, like, let's go to the hater question. Like,
yeah.
you had to cut people off or had to like put your phone on do not disturb or had to like get away from people or had to not listen to certain people. So Was
Yeah.
it negativity that you used to hear, and have you ever heard any negativity or hatred from people?
Well, I say like in high school, like I really never like I ain't really had nobody really hating on me because, like I said, like I kind of just popped on the scene and just started dropping times. Like it wasn't something that I was always that guy. Like it just kind of just happened. And but I think like in college, like it wasn't my fresh. It was kind of my freshman year, like a little bit, but it was really like my sophomore year when after I made my first after I made the team my sophomore year. So going into my junior year, that's when it kind of like people like you know what I'm saying. People was throwing a little slick shot. You know how the subliminals go on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
and me, I'm the type of person.
I was
I
gonna
ain't.
say Instagram.
Yeah, yeah. So in me, like I think I've never been like that friendly 400 runner. Like it's one thing, like you know, in track world, like people really be cool with each other and stuff like that. You know, like me, like I got my little set of friends, but other than that, like you know, I don't really too much do all the chitter chatter with all the people I'm running against. Like you know, I'll walk past you, and you know, not say nothing, and some people have problems with it, you know, and they'll feel like you feel a certain type of way. But it's like for me, I always look at it like, bro, it's not personal, it's just business. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm coming out here to do what I gotta do. Like I'm training to beat you and I'm not out here to be your friend. So it's like you got some people that understand it, and then those who like, you know, they'll find a way like, oh, you see how he talking on Twitter or Instagram. I don't be really paying attention to it because it's like bro, like I'm out here trying to handle my business. Like if you got something to say, you can say it. But if not, you know, go on about your business, bro.
That's a good message to tell people because it's like you don't always have to be friends with your competition. Now, jumps,
Yeah.
like I remember in jumps, it's completely different. So we're not gonna talk about jumps, but as sprints, I do know because having friends who are sprinters, like they're not
Yeah.
necessarily talking to, especially if they're on the 4x4, they're not talking to anybody other
Yeah.
teams like at all. No type of talk, nothing. So having that mindset is good. I want you to touch on something because it's almost a question but a comment. When I was at Kansas, my freshman and sophomore year, there were certain there was a certain crowd I was around,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And at the end of my sophomore year, I started to hang around a different crowd, and this crowd was those who were going to nationals every year, like guaranteed they'd leave
Yeah.
from jump. They was going to
I know where you're going
nationals.
with this. I know you're going with this.
And the first practice, I tell everyone this. One of my roommate basically um told me something that I know every single person that goes to nationals thinks. And it was that they're going to nationals before that first practice. She was
Yeah.
like, how the mindset is where I'm not thinking about if I'm going to make it to nationals and qualify. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people, that's their goal. I'm trying to figure out how I can win nationals because I already know I'm going. And that completely from there, I didn't miss a nationals
Yeah.
after changing my crowd because I tell people just because they're on the team does not mean they are top 10 in the nation mindset. There's a
So
difference between D1 mindset and top 10 in the nation. It is a big difference. So, did you ever have to change your crowd or do you feel like you always were with the same crowd? And just talk about even that alone, things you've seen, like, because in your group, there's people who are on the team who you've never seen go to
yeah.
nationals. You know what I'm saying?
So it's crazy that you say that. So it's like when I first got to Baylor, like me running. So when I came into Baylor and I ran 45.9, like I came in wanting to be like the big dog. Like I came in like how I told you, like I'm really not here to be friends. That's exactly how I came into the team. And we had this one guy named George Caddick. That's my boy. But when we first got on the team, like he was the top 400 guy. I didn't really rock with George like that, and it's because I wanted to be that spot. Like I didn't. I came in like this who the big dog is. Bet. So at training, man, I was trying everything I could to beat him. And me and you both know, like, it don't matter how good you is in high school. When you step in that fall training in college, that's a different thing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, when I tell you I was getting toasted that first month, bro, he had me out there looking stupid, man. I was out there going through it, and I didn't. Me and him didn't really rock with each other like that, and it wasn't because like like we just didn't mutually like each other. It was like he knew what I was there to do,
You
and I
can't
knew
let
what
you
I
go.
was trying to do, and he
You can't
couldn't
let
let
you
me.
go. Yeah.
Exactly. So he couldn't let me. So we didn't actually get cool until we had our first meet because I was the type of guy where I wanted fourth leg. I wanted fourth leg because I wanted that's the big dog leg. That's what I wanted. I wanted that. And coach put me first, and I was like, "Come on, coach! Like, what's up with that, man?" Like, he said, "All right, hey, until you prove yourself, this George team, George don't even know this." So I was like, "All right." When George went out there, we I think one of our legs he had got us down in fourth. I think George went and hawked him up. He came and we won. It's your team, bro. I said, it's your team till I'm out, till you out, bro. And at that
Yeah.
moment, bro, we started like we was here at that moment. And like at that moment, like it was an understanding like this is the guy I need to train with right here. Because he never laid down, but he also knew like this is gonna be the guy that's up next. So, he started really putting me on game and stuff like that. And George, he ended up winning indoors 400, but I came and beat him outdoors. But when he came on the 4x4, bro, we was like we was gonna make it work. But back to the question you say, like when I first got on the team, I was hanging around certain people on the team, but they was pretty much the seniors. We was an older team when I came in. And man, you both know you got those seniors that want to make something out of it, and then those seniors that pretty much know that they finna have a job after this. So it's like
Yeah.
for them, they just finishing. And I was hanging around them, but I didn't really know at the time. And coach pulled me to the side, kid you not. Coach pulled me to the side. He was like, "Hey, you either going if you trying to make something out of this, you better start hanging with somebody else." I said, "Coach, these my teammates." Though he's like, "But they not going for the same thing you going for. They already checked out mentally." And he said, "You need to find some people that still checked in." And I really didn't understand it, but when I realized it, I started hanging with people that was trying to win and was still into this 100%. And once I started that, I started training different, moving different as far as outside of the track world. And also, like, I like what you said about like like you going to nationals. Like it was never a thing that I wasn't going to nationals. Me and you both know if you good, getting that mark to qualify ain't hard at all.
Yeah.
It's really not hard to qualify. Like if you think of outdoors, you're gonna be in the top 48 if you're nice. I'm pretty sure for you, first jump outdoors, boom, you got your mark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, I was always told myself, whenever I open up, that's gonna be my qualifying spot. So I never went into conference. Like conference for me was tuning up. Like
Yeah.
that's how I looked at it. Conference was a tune up. Regionals was the tune up, and the big one was nationals. So that's how I always try to place myself, and then whatever I had left for after nationals, as far as USA's, I was gonna take it there.
Now, even with you changing who you hung around in order to get better, one thing that changed for me was my mindset. Another thing that changed was doing extra
Hmm.
practices, and extra work.
Yeah.
What specifically changed for you as far as when you started hanging out with those who were doing better?
Um, Utilizing everything that the school was offering, like as far as the training room. Like I didn't really know nothing about like you getting massages and doing rehab and stuff like that, because
Yeah.
like a lot of people don't know. Like you see people that knew what to do because they might have had it when they was in like summer track or at their high school, but in my high school we didn't have that. So like I didn't know nothing. The only thing I knew about was taking the ice bath. Like that's the only thing. And I didn't really even know the proper time to take an ice bath. Like so, when I walk in, see ice bath, hot tub, and Normatec boots and all of these things, I'm like, bro, it's like massages and needles, and I'm like, man, I don't need none of that, bro. Like I'm good, like. But then I start realizing like this is what you gonna need. Like I start utilizing the training room, the trainers, nutritionists, all of those things. Like those were the things that like helped me like take it to the next level because a lot of people like I'll say this like asking questions was what took me to the next level. That's pretty much what it was. Like asking my
Asking
coaches,
who? Okay, coaches.
nutritionists, trainers. Like there was never a time where I never asked my nutritionist what should I eat. Like I'm asking, yo, like I still to this day like, yo, you think this gonna be straight if I eat this? You know what I'm saying today or before practice? You should be okay. Just anything like that. Asking my trainer like, hey, like on my hamstring, this felt a little funny. Can you take a look at it? Or, asking my coach, like, when I was, did that 150 and I came off the curve, like, how you think? It was just all about just asking questions, because it's no such thing as a dumb question if you're trying to get better.
Now, at a certain point, you win three Big 12 titles in a row. At that point, your senior year, who knows more, you or your coach?
Oh, it's my coach still. Like, I ain't like, cause me, I'm the type of person where I feel like I don't know enough. Like, I'm still learning, because I wasn't running the times and reaching the goals that I felt like I wanted to anyway. So it's like, if I'm not reaching those goals, or I'm not reaching there, I still got a lot to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't leaving early. So it's like, if I felt like I knew enough, then at that point, that means I should have been in a position to be running 43. But I wasn't running that. So it's something I still need to learn. So it's definitely my coach. Like, a lot of people start feeling like, I think this is really big in our sport. Like, when a athlete's not running fast, or like the first person they point their fingers at is like the training or whatever. But, like, that ain't never been me. Like, I always look at myself first, and then, like, if I can go down my checklist, and everything I can check off is like, I did everything I was supposed to. Then that's when I can go to my coach and be like, yo, coach, like, is there something that I feel like, or we can come to a conclusion with on this? Then I can feel like at that point, but it's never gonna be like, oh, I know more than my coach.
Okay, so I like that you said that. You went through 4 years of college, and did you graduate?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Okay, so there is never a problem with me going to class, or even when we had practice at like 6 or 5 a.m., there was never a problem with me getting to class after, or then going to the next practice, or then going to tutoring. And I did get stressed. I didn't know what it really meant, but I never ever in my head said I was going to give up on track, not in college ever.
Yeah.
No matter through injuries, like I had to fly home one time for something, like no matter what. Is that the same for you? And was that the same? Meaning, like, you didn't have any problems not being able to be a student or do
Yeah.
everything you needed to? How do you feel?
I mean, like, for me, like, it was like, I think a lot of people, like, when they look at it, like, especially like being a Division 1 athlete, and you go to like a school that got money, like you went to Kansas, I went to Baylor, like both our schools had all the utilities for us, you know what I'm saying, for us to be great. So it's like, when certain people like say those things, like, it's hard for me, because they really be putting us in position to like try to make it as easy as possible. So, like,
Yeah.
I never like, so if it was ever a time, like, I could be like, nah, bro, I just didn't feel like going to class, like, or like, or I just, like, if you like, I tell people all the time, like, if you an athlete and you like legit flunk out, that means you purposely flunked
You had
out.
to try. You had to
Like, you didn't
try.
do nothing, bro, because it's like, they got tutors for you, and they like will literally walk you through everything if you really need it. So
Yeah.
it's like, for me, it was never to that point, because I'm the type of person where I'm trying to make it easier on myself. Like, if I feel like it was something, I'm like, yo, hey, I go up to my advice, like, yo, I ain't gonna be that type of person that say I don't need a tutor. Like, hey, I need a tutor for this class, yo, and make sure they pretty good, because I'm really need some help. And when you get the tutor, like, they pretty much walk you through everything. Like, so it was like, it's sometimes it's really hard for me to like have an understanding with that, because it's like, man, you both know,
Same.
like, when you make your classes, like, they pretty much gonna schedule the classes around your
Whenever you want,
yeah,
literally.
yeah, yeah, facts. And you pretty much gonna have your harder classes in the off season and your easy ones during season. So it's like, I be like,
Even
nah,
if you
bro, like,
miss class during
yeah,
class, you
bro,
get
like,
to do something. Like, it's probably even better if you get to miss class and get to do it like
it,
at the hotel. Honestly, that's
exactly.
why it's like,
That's
yeah,
why I'm saying, bro. So it's like, You can, I mean, man, you know, bro, both know, bro. You going to a meet indoors, outdoors, and you see the academic advisor sitting down with four people in the hotel lobby, and y'all doing the paper. So it's like, bro, like
The
I'm
same
like,
paper,
nah, bro.
everyone did the same paper, yeah.
Exactly. So for me, it's more so like, nah, like I ain't really finna like, you know what I'm saying, try to say like you gonna stress simply because it might just be a hard class. But like say you stressing because you feel like you got too much or something like that, it's really just hard to say that because it's like, man, like I can't say I'm stressed when I know there's a student out there that's not an athlete and they got way more and they gotta work a job and then they giving me everything and giving me all the tools to utilize. You know, like it's just hard for me to like say that.
Nah, yeah, I definitely agree with that. That's why I feel like it's important to actually want to do it because then
Yeah,
and to precondition your mind to understand what you're going to go through. Like you have to understand that obviously college is going to be harder than high school, but you can make
yeah,
it almost easier and a better experience. Of
yeah.
course, in high school it should be that. Um Now is hard work easy for you?
I'm gonna say this, like when it comes to school, like if it's like I'm a crunch time
School
type of
and track.
like okay, so for school, like I'm a crunch time type of student. So it's like you know when you got that paper due and it's like due that night and you like you kind of lock in a little bit more because you gotta focus. Like I'm one of them type of people. But like I'ma always get the job done. Like I'm not one of the people who's gonna be like, bro, I'm finna fail this class. Like, nah, bro. Like I'm gonna get it done. Like you might fail it, but I'm not. I'm gonna get up out of here with that B or the C. I'm gonna have to take a C if I got to, but I'm gonna get out of here passing. But when it come to track, it's just like it's the same way. Like I'm not just gonna let myself just go out sad. Like like I'm the type of person like even if I do lose or have a season that just ain't right, like I'm gonna just get back up and get back to it because like this that's part of the game. Me and you both know with track and field, like you can lose 2 weeks in a row and come back and you might jump a world lead or run a world lead. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people don't be like having that mental capacity to understand how this sport works.
You're not at a level where it's like college, you know what I'm saying, USA championships. This is world, this is top 10 in the world, the fastest people to ever live, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, are you like crazy motivated? Has anything changed significantly? Like, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I've always wanted to win, so I've always just wanted to be the best. So like that's one part that's always been the same. But like I think just the like knowing what's on the line is just way more like I think what goes on a lot of people is like they don't understand like you really the same athlete, it's just a different uniform. So that's one thing my coach would always say like, hey, don't like let this moment dictate how you run. Like it's the same you, just a different uniform. But I think for me like motivation wise, it's just like you getting older, so it's a lot more that go into it. Like when you thinking about, hey, I got bills to pay. You know what I mean? I'm trying to put money in my pocket. Like I'm trying to build a legacy. So for me, it's just like, man, like I just really want to make all of this work. Like I just really want to be one of them legends. So it's like I'm like the work is gonna get hard, and me and you both know like when you reach a certain level, everything gets harder with it. So it's like you just gotta go like 10 times as hard as the pain that you feel. Like you gonna feel that pain. You're gonna feel that fatigue and that mental just gonna feel like you just don't got it no more. But you just gotta keep working through it.
And what do you feel like is your biggest accomplishment in track and field so far?
Oof, my biggest accomplishment, man. Uh I think for me, like just me personally, I think my biggest one was winning Big 12s my junior year because it was here in Waco at Baylor.
You said like the one of the best moments was when you were running at home in Baylor. How does it feel to run overseas, and where have you run outside the USA?
Running over, I ain't gonna lie, running overseas is crazy because the crowds they way more into it. So I think like the craziest meet I've been to, I won my first Diamond League meet. It was at Lausanne, and I think it was really crazy because Warholm was running the 400. So the fans was insane. He be turned up before the race and stuff. So the fans was in it, but I was in the outside lane. I was in like lane 8, like right. They didn't have, it was 8 lanes, and I was in lane 8. So I was right next to the crowd the entire time running, and
Oh,
so
that had to
so
be like so
yeah. So
interesting.
they was, and the thing about people don't know, like in Europe, like when it comes to track meets, like they treat it like how we treat NBA, NFL games. So it's like when you see like the concessions, food trucks, the liquor, beer, and all that, they got those at they meets in Europe. Like you'll see them selling beer and liquor, and so these people are, they be drunk, they be turned up. So like when they be cheering, man, it's crazy. So I'm running and I'm just like, man, this is crazy. And I can, usually you don't really hear when you competing, but it was so loud that I can hear over my thoughts. So the
Yeah.
entire time I'm running, like it's just turning me up, and I'm just like, oh yeah. So I ended up winning that one. But in Europe, I think I've ran in Zurich, I ran in Switzerland, Italy, France, of course Doha. Um, Dang, I ran a lot of places, bro. I ran a lot of places, but I think my favorite one was probably that lasagna. It was nice.
Yeah, that sounds too exciting. And your goal for this year is what?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, like my goal, like my number one goal is to run consistent. Like a lot of people always like, I'm gonna I'm gonna win gold. Like my goal is to run consistent because like I look at myself like if I can run consistent, then when the lights come on and I'm running, say if I'm running consistent 44 mid, 44 high, me and you both know when the lights come on and that big race come up in our final, like for you, if you jump in something consistent, when the lights come on, you as a
Yeah.
competitor, it's gonna be that one big jump you've been waiting on. So like I know, like for me, coach is like, man, if we can run consistent 45, 44 mid, 44 high, when the lights come on, you're gonna run something fast when you got all the people around you that's ready to run fast too. So like me, it's just to run fast consistently, at a really good pace, but also run it at a being comfortable running it. And when it's time for USA's, go out there and make that podium, bro. Like get in that top three. Cause I'm over making the relay pool is cool, but man, I want that open spot, bro. I want that open spot, and then go on the Olympics and bring home a medal.
Yes, we calling it right now on the
Uh,
Dino Show. We
like,
calling it, no
right
lie.
now,
So I'm gonna ask the question that all non-runners need to know. First, you need to tell me what your fastest 400-meter time is.
44, 47, 44, 47. Yeah,
44:47.
yeah.
Okay. What are you running your first 200-meter time in, do you think?
Like 21 mid, so about 21 5, 21 6.
Okay. So the gun goes off, boom, and
Yeah.
you're running. When you get before you know where the 200 starts, 50 meters back,
Hmm.
are you, meaning like in the middle of the back stretch,
Yeah.
are you trying to get faster or are you already running as fast as you can and you're just cruising through the line and you're just running 21 like that? Are you like still picking up speed into the 200?
No, 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 no. I ain't picking up at that point. Like the first 50, I'm first 50, I'm all gas, no brakes. First 50. But then then going into that straight away, it's kind of like using that and just letting it go. Like not slowing down, but just staying at a relaxed pace at that point and just staying there. And then at 200, like all 400 runners say, like at 200, that's when the race starts. At 200, that's when it actually starts. Because at that point, you coming off that curve, and that last 100 is just everybody, it's all heart and muscle at that point.
Yeah. So, okay, you get off the last 200 and the last 100. Do you have like even and this may be throughout the whole race. Do you have like a breathing strategy like when I obviously I'm a jumper, so it's not like we're running far, but like
Yeah.
during practice I had some breathing strategy to where I knew if I breathed slower, like even
Yeah.
if I'm running faster, I'll be way more calm. And of course, we're not running nowhere near as far as you, so
Yeah.
it worked for me. But like, do you have like a breathing strategy or anything that you do differently during the
Uh, just
100?
just just stay relaxed, like, cause you know, like a lot of people they think like to run faster you gotta use more effort. Like in order to run faster, the more the person who's the most relaxed is gonna run the best. Like you know, if you look at most people who run like the 100 and stuff like that, when they're running a race, like they're really like you know you don't see nobody like this like just pushing like you see people really relax, you know, arms relaxed and everything. So that's really my thing, is just trying to stay relaxed at the last 100 as much as possible and just pumping my arms.
Um, I'm looking you up right now on the internet. By the way, for everyone listening, um, there are a lot of different like videos and pictures of you on the internet, which is lit, of course. Let me try to find this. How many times have you gone to the Olympics?
So I went just that 1 year in Tokyo. I would but I my first trials was my freshman year in 2016 for the Rio one. And it kind of caught me off guard. I didn't think I was gonna go. My coach was just like, "Why not?" And I was just like, "Okay, I guess we going in."
So this is you with the Olympic medal?
Nah, that
What is
was
this,
after
world
Doha.
champs?
That was after Doha, yeah,
Okay, yes.
and
So
World Championships in 2019.
when you're at the Olympics,
Uh huh.
and I'll bring this back to me when I was at NCAA championships and I was on the track and I had went from like 11th to 5th and I looked at myself on the board and I saw my name change and at that moment I knew like probably no one's going to pass me that much at least.
Yeah,
I'm like I'm all American, but it's not like oh my gosh, it's like I knew this was going to happen
yeah.
like I believe this was going to happen and now I'm feeling it. Is it that same feeling when you're at the Olympics? Like you're not over excited because you dreamed of it 50 billion times? Or how is it? What is the actual feeling when you're
Well,
on
the
the
thing
track?
was, so I went to Tokyo, but I didn't end up getting to run. It was like this relay rule that they end up having that required me not to run. But like, I can tell you when like I was there, so it was like a dream come true.
Yeah.
But you know, we're gonna run at this one, so we gonna let that one be known. We running in Paris 24. But
Yes.
I think, okay, I'll tell you this. So in 2017 we running in London. And I don't like running in Europe, bro. Like I told you, it's a different experience. But especially in London, like they love track. The whole stadium sold out for the 4x4. And I'm what 19, 20 at the time, and they put me first leg for the 4x4 for the final. So you gotta understand, like I'm a sophomore, and I'm running with all these
That's
grown men
lit.
that you've watched. You know what I mean? Like I'm back there like warming up, and I see Wade Van Niekerk. I see who just broke the world record. The year before that? I
Yeah.
see Usain Bolt over here. You know, after the 100, all the 100 final. I'm like, bro. So like for me, it was like, you know, I don't think people know what getting starstruck is until you actually see people that you've grown up to. You know, like to watch, and then next thing you know, you in the back warming up next to them. But I think what it was like when I first walked out, and we walked out of that tunnel in 2017, and they said United States, and that crowd, like it was a mixed emotion crowd, and it was like some boos and a lot of like screams, like of like USA. And bro, I ain't gonna lie, they had like the little spark things that blew up beside us, like right beside us. So
Okay, yeah.
we walk out, and like I'm trying not to get burned, but then I looked, they was like, "Yo," like Gil was just like, "Yo, little bro, you got this." Everyone's like, "Bro, you gotta start this, you gotta pop it off for us." I was like, "I got y'all," and they was like, don't look at the crowd, but don't let it get to you." I was like, "Bro, I'm good," and it was like, I was like, "Bro."
That's
And the
crazy.
one thing I did was I looked, and they told them it was like first legs go out, and they stayed. So I'm running, I'm going down to go set up my blocks, and I'm by myself. And I stopped and I just looked. I was like, bro, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, it was crazy, bro. I was like, man, there ain't no way, bro. And I'm setting up my blocks, and like I had to put the baton down. I'm setting up my blocks. I'm kind of shaking a little bit, but then I just had to. But what was crazy, bro? My pops ended up coming out there, and I don't know how he got down there, but he got to the bottom, like where the cameras and stuff was.
Yeah.
And he was at the bottom, and I heard somebody was like, "Well, who are they calling my name?" And I was like, "Man, I'm trying to focus." And then I heard somebody was like, "Son," and it was my dad. I looked at him. He was like, "I'm proud of you. You got this." And I was just like, "I'm good now." Like, I'm turned up, and I
Yeah.
calmed down. And man, next thing you know, bro, I just went crazy first leg. I don't know what it was, bro. I just like I had an out of body experience. Like I don't. The crazy thing is I don't remember running a leg. Like I don't remember running at all.
Yeah, I believe that, honestly.
Bro, it
I
was a crazy
believe that.
feeling.
It's like you've had so many amazing experiences on the track, and a lot of people like know your name, of course. An extreme
Yeah.
amount of people know your name in the track world. How does it feel now walking around knowing you're a part of history? Because me, I had to write it down. I actually have a note. I had to write it down. Like Dino, you are literally the second best triple jumper to ever go to University of Kansas. You are a
Yeah.
four-time All-American. You know what I'm saying? 10-time All Big 12. Like, how does it feel when you walk around and you wake up now that you've been overseas and you
Yeah.
drive and you see kids just on their high school track or in middle school track and you know it's like I'm literally at the top of the world right now.
Man, it's like a great feeling. It's especially like cause like a lot of people don't get to be able to do it in the city they grew up in. Like all my success came from I never left the city to do it. Like I've been here the entire time. So it's like when I get off the plane and I was coming back from Europe, I flew right back home. Like I flew right back into the city I was born in. So it's like I'm coming back from worlds. I'm coming back from these places, and I'm going back. If I'm going to go eat with my friends, and I'm back in the exact city that I was in. So, like, I never once moved different. Like, once I came back from like Doha and worlds and stuff like that, I went out to eat that night by myself. Like, I took a
Mhm.
shower, had my hoodie on, and I went. It was like, bro, ain't you the one? I was like, yeah, yeah, that's me. Hey, bro, congrats, bro. And, kids want to take pictures, but like. I knew what I signed up for, and this is what I always wanted. You know what I mean? So it's like it was never something that, but it's also for me. It's just like I know that I got to keep going. So I never want to just like think about it too much because I know it's more goals that I'm trying to obtain and I'm trying to reach. So it's like celebrate it, but not to a point where it's like I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still doing it. Like so, I'm still trying to continue to make history.
Yeah, setting new goals.
Yeah.
And you've been like at such these high places. What advice would you give based off like what you see maybe young track runners do or people who aren't motivated do? What advice would you give someone who's like 16 years old who's trying to make it to where you are right now, whether it's in track or in life in general?
Man, just to keep going. Like it's gonna get hard along the way, but like you gotta understand, like the moment is always gonna get bigger, but the tests are gonna get harder. So that don't give you a like the quitting is never an option. That's gonna be my advice. Is quitting can't be an option. And being and saying, oh, it's cool, like, cause me and you both know, it's just like when you step on that runway, bro, and you going against the big dogs, like you can't just be cool with that last jump. Me and you both know, like, you might jump a world lead and dude might come back and jump it right back on you. Like
Yeah,
so
literally.
it's like and it happened that fast, so it's like never get complacent. And that's one thing about this sport, it's just like you can be at a track meet and the guy on the intercom and say, oh, you so and so just ran the world lead, and then at a different meet somewhere else in a different state, a guy gonna run it 2 minutes later. So
Yeah.
it's like never get complacent and never have quitting as an option. And I feel like if you can have those and have that mindset is to never get complacent and never quit, then it can take you a long way. And that's in track or out the track.
Yeah, that is great advice. So you personally know your own journey of where you've been. Now, not thinking of just anyone else, think of just yourself. If you could go back to when you were 12 and like speak in your ear, what would you tell yourself to get further than where you are right now, specifically yourself?
Um, I'll say to focus on the main goal at all times. Cause there's been times where it was just like I might have like kind of regretted a couple things, like oh I should have did this instead, or I might have did something else instead of just keeping that main goal of what my goal was to obtain. But honestly, for me, like I don't see it going no other way. Like everything that happened along the way was for me was just more so like it was supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it was hard, but hey, I managed to get through it. Like I told you, I'm not a quitter, so for me, it's like anything that I go through, I just look at it like, man, it's cool. Like it is what it is. I'm gonna keep going because I'm the type of person. If I can't control it, I'm not gonna stress about it.
Yeah. And it's obvious you believe in yourself. So is there anything you do
Yeah.
specifically to be motivated or even maybe manifest your dreams if you think that's possible?
One is pray, bro, but two, just always, always look at myself in the mirror and always look at myself as that guy. Like, I always look as I'm that guy. Like, I don't never look at, oh, since he did this or that person did this. Like, I'ma always choose me. I'm gonna pick me every time. Like, even if I'm not doing good. Like these past 2 years in track, they've been all over the place for me. But I don't. But for me, I've never seen one person who had a perfect career. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had to go through a loss or so to get to where they was. So for me, it was just like, oh, how you feeling? Man, I'm gonna pick me every time. Like I don't care what I'm running. I don't care what the situation is. I'ma always pick me. So since I got that mindset, like I just carry that with everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And you obviously have that Olympic mindset. Do you ever talk to people and know that like they aren't motivated by the way they talk?
Oh, for sure. Like you can, but one thing about me is when I get around people, like I don't stay around those type of people.
Yeah.
Like if you don't got that belief in yourself, or if you are the type of person who's like, are you sure you can do that? Or you don't think that's too
Yeah.
much? I don't stay around them type of people because to me, like because you got doubt in yourself, you're gonna try to put that on me. Just because you couldn't obtain what you wanted to, don't mean that I can't do it. So when people is around me that's like that, like I had somebody, I ain't gonna say who it is, but like they was like that when I before I got to college. I was like, man, when I get to college, because they competed in college. It was a family member, so
Mhm.
my dad was just like, yeah, talk to him, this and that, boom, boom, boom. And he talked to me, he's like, hey, it's not gonna be one of them. I said, man, I'm gonna win when I get to college. He was like, all right, you think that's how it's gonna be? I said, yeah, I'm gonna win when I get there,
Yeah.
and went out there and I did my thing, but I
Sheesh.
don't think it was for him to be like negative, but I think he was really just trying to give me some game on how it was, which I took some losses along the way, of
Mm.
course. But my overall career in college, I think I handled what I needed to handle.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people have had that one person who's like kind of they motivated us, but it's like something they said we may have thought was like hating in a way, but it also motivated us to
But
be
I
better.
think that's people. But I think that's just when you're a driven person. You're gonna
Yeah.
always feel like if somebody's giving you advice that, like somebody right now could come tell me like, "Hey, bro, it's gonna be hard to make that team, bro. So, what you thinking?"
Yeah.
Just me personally, that's I'm gonna find it offensive.
Me too. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. It might not them meaning in a hater way or them trying to be negative, but just the type of person I am.
You
I'm
don't
a
want to
true
think that in
person.
your head at all.
So I'm taking that and I'm being like, I'm putting that like, all right, bet. Now I'm finna go to training. I'm finna train hard and I'm gonna prove you wrong. But like, but somebody who might not be as driven might be like, well, you might be right, but I'm gonna try my hardest. I'm not that type of person. Like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. I'm definitely the same way where if somebody tells me or any doubt or said it's going to be hard, it's
Yeah.
like this is the only reason why I don't like when people tell me it's going to be hard because it was hard for me to get these trophies.
Yeah,
So
fact.
what do you mean it's hard? Are you telling me it's hard meaning I shouldn't do it or I
Yeah,
should be worried? Because everything I do is hard. I'm not doing things to be worst. I'm doing things to be number one at it. So it is
fact.
going to be hard. It is
Yeah,
going to be tough. It's going to be
not
challenging.
made
You're
to
going to
be
get injured. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. I feel you on that. Because to me, if it's easy, then I don't want it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want it.
Yeah, yeah, that's facts. So, Will London, we expect you to be on the Olympic team and dominate this season.
Sir,
I
yes, sir.
personally say I am Dino. I am blessed. I am capable. I am strong. I am an All American. I am a motivator. What are affirmations or just one that you feel like could define you?
Man, I'm the coldest out. That's what I tell myself every day, bro. You gonna be that guy. Like I be having them workouts where I just go in there and I be like, like you him, like like you that guy, bro. So I just always tell myself, bro, you gonna be the coldest to ever do it. Like I tell myself that all the time. Like it might not be now, but you literally gonna be the coldest to ever do this, bro.